Okay, so this video is going to be about Cuisenaire rods, and Cuisenaire rods are the manipulative we use to represent the line model for fractions. And so you made this set or a set similar like a foam set, or you cut something out, or you ordered this for your week 7 project. And so just kind of go over, this is all the pieces in the set. Your colors may look a little different, but in general, they should come across as the same color. This is orange, it's the longest one, then blue, brown, black, dark green, depending on like if you're using a book or something, they might refer to, I think that one's spruce is what they call it, yellow, purple, light green, red, and white. Okay, so just to show you how we do fractions with these is I can take one of my rods, it doesn't matter which one, and I can find the fractional part of it. So if this is my whole, what would 1/2 of that be? So I'm trying to find what 2 rods can I put 2 in there and make a whole. So if I just guessed yellow, oh, I guessed right, I didn't mean to. A yellow is 1/2 of an orange because 2 yellows make a whole, 2 parts make a whole, okay? You could also do, if this is my whole and this is my 1/2, if I wanted to do 1/10 of that, that would be my white ones. Some of my white ones are kind of brownish. That would be a white one because 10 white ones make a whole here. Let's see, 4, 8, 9, I need one more. 10. Okay, so if you are drawing on your paper explaining why the yellow is 1/2 of an orange, you need to draw an orange and draw 2 yellows and show that 2 parts make a whole. Okay, so I actually have a paper that I uploaded, and this is to do our notes, and then we're going to do a few practice problems together. Okay, so if orange is the orange rod is the whole, what fraction do each of the following represent? So a yellow, if the orange is the whole, we already did this one actually, I didn't mean to do that problem, but a yellow represents 1/2 because 2 yellows make a whole. Okay, so what you would write is a yellow is 1/2, and the reason why is because 2 yellows equals 1 orange. Okay, and then we just did this one also. So we said that a white was 1/10 because 10 whites, I don't need the yellows anymore, 10 whites equals 1 orange. Okay, so 1 white would be 1 out of 10. And remember, a fraction, the number on the number on top is the parts that I have. The number on bottom is the parts that make a whole. So here, 1 white is 1/10 because 1 white and 10 whites make a whole. Okay, so if I have an orange here, what would the black be? Well, I can't put multiple blacks on there to make, like I can't do like 2 blacks make an orange. So how in the world am I going to describe an orange with a black? Well, I could go back to my whites here and relate it with my whites. Since I know that 1 white is 1/10, how many whites is a black? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 whites out of 10 whites make a whole. So black is actually 7/10 because 7 whites equal a black, 10 whites make a whole. Similarly, a red, if a red is, or like asking how much a red is, well, I need to see how many reds make a whole. So let's see. I'm going to put them up here. 5 reds equal 1 orange. So that means 1 red is 1 out of 5 make a whole. So a red is 1/5. A purple, if I do a purple, let's see if I can get a whole. If I do 2 purples, 3 purples is bigger than my whole. So I can't just say 1 purple is 1 out of something. Instead, I need to relate it. Let's see if I can relate it with my reds. I could also do the whites. So a purple is actually 2 reds. So 2 out of, how many make a whole? 5 make a whole. 5 reds make a whole. Okay, so like your reasoning here would be 1 purple equals 2 reds. 5 reds make a whole. Okay. If you related this with the whites instead of the reds, you would still get the same answer. It's going to look a little different, but you still get the same answer. Because if I did my whites, 10 whites make a whole. 1 purple is 4 whites. So you could also write this as 4 out of 10. 4 whites make a whole. I'm sorry, 4 whites equals a purple. 10 whites make a whole. Okay, and we know those are equivalent fractions because they reduce. Introducing to students, either answer is fine because it's the same thing. It's just 2 different ways to measure it. And then, let me put my reds back. If I wanted to do a blue, I can't do 2 blues there, so actually reds aren't going to work here. If I wanted to connect it with the reds, could I see how many reds a blue is? Well, no, a blue is actually not quite 4. I'm sorry, bigger than 4, but not quite 5 reds. So I need to relate it with my whites. So 1 blue is 9 whites, 10 make a whole. So blue is 9 whites, 10 make a whole. Okay, so there's kind of just a breakdown of how to do it. Let's look at number 2. This time it says the brown rod is the whole. Okay, so you're starting off with the brown rod now and doing things with it. So it says, find the following, find the value of the purple rod. So I know a purple rod is 1/2 because 2 make a whole. So the value of the problem is, the value of the purple rod is 1/2 because 2 purple make a whole. Or if you wanted to draw a picture, you could draw a picture of 1 brown, and you would need to either need to shade it in or write brown on it, and then show that 2 purple make a whole. So either one of those works. Find the rod that is 1/4 of the brown rod. Okay, so if I want to find something 1/4, that means 4 of those pieces need to make a whole. Well, I know it's not purple. If I were to guess and say it was green, I would need to see, do 4 green rods make a brown? No. So let's try red. Do 4 red rods make a brown? Yes. So that means the rod that is 1/4 of the brown rod is a red because 4 reds equals 1 brown. Or the picture, draw 1 brown and then draw 4 reds. So you need to have justification for your answer. Either use words explaining it or draw a picture explaining how you know that the red is a 1/4. Find the rod that's 1/8 of the brown. That would be the white ones. Because 8 white ones may equal 1 brown one. Which one are kind of light brown? Okay, so a white is 1/8 because if I drew my picture, if I have 1 brown rod, the white ones, 8 white ones make a whole. Or you could write out 1 brown equals 8 white ones. Okay, for the next part, 1/2 equals 2/4 equals 4/8. Explain with your rods. So a way that I could show this is, if this is my brown, my whole, I know 1/2 of that is a purple, right? So that's 1/2. How can I show 2/4? Well, 2 reds is a fourth. I'm sorry, 1 red is a fourth. 2 reds would be 2/4. And then an eighth is a white. So 4/8 would be 4 whites. And those are all the same length. So that's a way to show that 1/2 is equal to 1/2 is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4/8. So you would just draw this picture. So here's my brown. My red is half. Oh, not red. Sorry, purple is half. 2 reds, and then 4 whites. Okay. And then if my brown is the whole, what's the orange going to be? Well, if this is my whole, orange is bigger, so it needs to be bigger than a whole. Well, how much bigger than a whole is it? Let's compare it to something else. Let's put some reds on there and compare it with the reds. Well, 4 reds make a whole. 5 reds make an orange. So the value of an orange rod, how many parts is it? It is 5 reds. The number on bottom is the parts to make a whole. How many reds make a whole? 4 reds make a whole. Okay, so the orange is what we have. I'm comparing it to my whole of a brown. So an orange rod is 5/4. And you could draw this picture. This is my whole. Here's my reds. Red, 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 red. And then an orange is the length of 5 reds. Okay. The last one, tape an orange and red rod together. So that means this right here is my hole. So you can put 2 rods together, you can put 3 rods together, you can put lots of rods together to make your length however much you need it to be. It says, this is my hole now. Like, pretend like it's taped together. Or with kids, you might actually want to tape it together. Find the rod that is 1/3 of this. So 1/3 of that, I'm going to guess yellow. And that is not it because it's too big. So let's try purple. So a purple is 1/3 of an orange red because 3 purple pieces make a whole. Okay, so purple and your reasoning, you could draw a picture or you could explain it because 3 purple equals 1 whole. What is the value of a white rod? If my whole is the orange red, so put some whites on there. Let's see how many make an orange red. And it looks like, there we go. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the value of one white would be 1 out of how many whites make a whole? 12 whites make a whole. And the reasoning here would be 12 whites make a whole. Okay, so then it says find the value of a yellow-green. So if, oh, that's not yellow-green, that's yellow-green. If this is my whole, what is this? Well, it's helpful to compare it to something. So I'm going to put my whites back up here because I already have it. You could use a different color to compare it. So a yellow-green is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 whites. Okay, so I'm comparing yellow-green to an orange-red. A yellow-green, I said, was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 whites out of how many whites make an orange-red? 12. So 8 out of 12. Or you could also, if you didn't want to do whites, you could use purple. 3 purples make a whole, 2 purples make that, so 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. And does 8/12 reduce to 2/3? Yes, it does. Okay, and then last one, the value of a blue, blue, brown. So blue, blue, brown. Okay, so take this off. If this orange red is my whole, how much is a blue, blue, brown? Is it bigger than a whole? Yes. Let's see, is it twice as much? Let me see. So I need to put another orange red. Let me get my pieces. It's more than twice as much, right? Because here's 1, here's 2, and it's even longer than 2. So it's 2 and something. Let's figure out the and something part. Okay, so a couple ways you can do it. One way is, I'm kind of running out of room where you can't really see this. So I think you can see that, let me show you how these match up over here. You can see that these match up over here. So right here is 2 holes. So let me compare it with some whites. Sorry, I wish I could zoom out and make this a little better, but this is as far as it zooms. So if I put my whites on here, so remember orange red is your whole, so they match up over here on the left hand side, but you can't see very well. So that's 1 hole right there. This right here is 1 hole, and then this is my second hole, so 2 holes, and then the part left over is this part right here. Let's see if I can move this over a little bit so you can see it. Ooh. Put it on top of the paper. There we go. Sorry, it got a little messy. So here's my second hole right here, and here's the piece that's left over. If I line it up super duper well, how many pieces are left over? 1, 2 whites. How many whites make a hole? Well, 12 whites make a hole. So the value of blue, 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 brown is 2 holes and 2 pieces out of 12. Okay. So if you look at the second paper, this is the same idea. This time, most of them we're finding a hole. I give you the fraction, you find a hole. Okay, so this is kind of for you to do on your own to practice and make sure. I can post the key to this in just a little bit, but just to make sure you know how to do it. The purple is 1/2. What color is a whole? Well, if this is a half, 2 pieces make a whole. Now, which one matches that? Let's see. It's not blue. Is it a brown? Yeah. So if a purple is a half, what color is a whole? A brown is a whole. And the reason why is because either draw a picture or explain it with words. If you draw the picture, here's the brown. 2 purples make 1 brown. Okay, so make sure I would go through this page and make sure you can do all of those problems on your own and don't need any help with those. If you do need help, feel free to send me an email and I can make another video or answer your question through email.